here joining me at the podium this morning. Good morning, everybody. Our prayers go out to our neighbors in the Bahamas as they confront Hurricane Dorian. For us in South Florida, the message today is prepare, wait, and see. Overnight, the projections for Hurricane Dorian's path shifted slightly to the north. However, it is still expected to be a powerful hurricane north of us. While this is good news for Miami-Dade County, it's still way too early to let our guard down. Small changes in the trajectory can have a major impact for us in terms of how we prepare. So we all need to prepare, to wait, and to see. Just because some parts of Miami-Dade are out of the cone does not mean that we will not have hazardous weather. There is a 50 to 70% chance and probability of tropical storm force winds, along with possible storm surges. So again, let's prepare, let's wait, and let's see. Don't take down your shutters, not just yet. Last night, President Trump called me to assure us that Miami-Dade County can count on the federal government's help. I want to thank the President for that very important offer. Our county also remains ready to lend our assistance to others who might need it, no matter where this storm lands. Yesterday, I signed an emergency declaration for Miami-Dade County. This allows us to hire contractors as needed. It also gives me certain powers, such as calling for a curfew if needed. At this point, the declaration remains. We must keep our guards up. As we continue to monitor Hurricane Dorian, we have raised concerns about construction cranes in our county. The state of Florida and Governor Ron DeSantis have heard us. The state has temporarily suspended preemption of hurricane preparation provisions for tower cranes and hoisting equipment. A problem really pretty unique to Miami-Dade County because of all the high-rise cranes that we have here. I thank Governor Ron DeSantis and Florida Division of Emergency Management Director Jared Moskowitz. The new crane rules will help ensure the safety of our residents. This action means that provisions of Miami-Dade County Code 8E-11 Hurricane Preparedness are applicable and can be enforced countywide until September 10th, 2019, unless otherwise directed by the state. As crane operators secure their equipment in the county, we closely monitor Dorian's path. At this time, all Miami-Dade County services are continuing their normal operations. The most recent models show potential divergence in Dorian's path starting on Sunday. So for today, we have postponed the movement of all our special needs evacuees. We will make a decision tonight by 7 o'clock as to whether we will need to move our special needs residents starting tomorrow morning. We, of course, are keeping all of those people informed. All residents need to be aware that we have king tides this holiday weekend. These tides will continue through Tuesday. They occur from approximately 10 a.m. to 12 noon and then again from 10 p.m. to midnight. The king tide brings in additional foot or more of water. With the ground already saturated from this week's rain, the king tides can lead to flooding in areas where there is already standing water. So we advise everyone to be cautious, especially from 10 o'clock to noon and from 10 o'clock at night to midnight from today through Tuesday. By now, everyone should be completing all hurricane preparations. As I've stated before, residents should make sure that emergency equipment, such as battery-powered radios, are in good working order. Finish putting up the shutters. Test your generators, get fuel for them. Also, top off your tanks for your cars. If you're on medications, make sure you have a full supply or get refills immediately. Ensure that sufficient emergency supplies such as non-perishable goods and food and water are on hand for each person in the home to last for 3 days. You don't need to go out and buy water. Miami-Dade's tap water is just fine. Just open the tap. You can drink all you want. Finish moving lawn furniture inside. Secure all yard and construction debris so they do not pose a hazard during a storm. The county's solid waste department is working diligently on extended hours to pick up all bulky trash requests, and they will continue to do so until winds get too strong. So, even if we are now under less of a threat, things can change quickly. Take those tree trimmings to a local trash and recycling center, which are extended hours from 7 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock at night. We have 13 locations that you can find out where they are by calling 311 or going online to miamidade.gov/solid waste. Find out if you live in an evacuation zone. That information is available on miamidade.gov. If you live in a surge zone, you must have an evacuation plan. Plan to leave with ample time to get to a safe area. Zone maps are available on the website miamidade.gov/OEM. While we have not issued an evacuation order, we do want everyone to know if they live in an evacuation area so that they can get out early. On Thursday, State Attorney General Catherine Fernandez-Rundle activated the number 2 call to ensure that there is no price gouging in advance of the storm. The number for that hotline is 305-547-3300. That's 305-547-3300. If you haven't already, download our Hurricane Readiness Guide at miamidade.gov. It has information in English, in Spanish, and Haitian Creole. You can also download a free app called Ready Miami-Dade. Finally, please take the time to sign up for Miami-Dade alerts. And for now, we will prepare, we will wait, and we will see. Now I'll answer any questions in English.
Can you mention again, you mentioned that there are no evacuation orders in place, but you did also mention something about special needs. Can you just reiterate that?
Yeah, we had anticipated that we would be picking up our special needs residents and taking them to shelter today, but in light of what's happened with this new track or the way that the storm is going, or it appears to be going, we're going to be postponing that. We have sufficient time. If the storm takes a turn towards us, we have sufficient time to pick them up and take them to the shelter. So again, let's prepare, let's wait, let's see. And so for us, it didn't make any sense to pick them up and put them in a shelter. I think a lot of them would have probably said, no, we really don't want to be picked up right now. And so it's much better just to leave them where they are, and we'll pick them up if the time comes, if need be. Right now, it doesn't appear that we're going to have to do that, but if we have to do that, we have plenty of time to do it.
Can you also talk a little bit about the conversation that you had with the president as far as just what he pledged and sort of the content of that conversation?
Well, the president pledges full support of the federal government to the state of Florida and to Miami-Dade County if need be. He was very gracious. I know the president also, personally, so we had some, conversations about, that between us. But the official part was his willingness to help the state of Florida and Miami-Dade County, and that he was watching out for what was happening. And I believe he was in Camp David. So that's where he's going to be watching what's happening here in the state, and he's promised all the federal help. So I thanked him for that, and he was very gracious in that.
Based on your briefing, when, at least in Miami-Dade County, as far as you know, are the effects going to start being felt, and how does that affect the window of time that people have to make decisions about preparation and all that?
Well, if it continues on its track, its projected track, we'll be out of the tropical storm force window. So right now there's still a probability of 50 to 60% that we'll have tropical storm force winds here in Miami-Dade County. Again, we need to wait and see exactly where the storm goes. We make these calls based on how much time we have, so we have time. They also expect the storm to slow down a little bit. And so all these calls are made in conjunction with the National Hurricane Center and our weather office here in Miami-Dade. And so we had briefings this morning from personnel from the National Weather Service, and so we're pretty confident, and we're very confident in the steps that we're taking right now. We want to make sure that everybody continues with their preparations, because if this storm turns quickly towards us, then we need to move. But at this point, again, we just need to see what the storm is doing. As long as it continues on its projected path, this course of action is fine. We got people here. We're constantly watching, monitoring the storm. If somehow projections change, then our actions will change. But it's all contingent upon what the storm does.
Go ahead.
Regarding the cranes, can you explain to us more in layman's terms what you were talking about? Conditions are not applicable for people who are out there who don't know what that even means. My grandma who's watching, like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about taking down? Are we talking about about what?
No, the cranes, it's, a lot of these cranes, it takes, some days for them to come down, so there's certain things that they have to do to secure them. We had put that in the Miami-Dade County Code that had been preempted by the state. The governor yesterday has waived those provisions, that preemption from the state, and then allowed our local building officials and Miami-Dade County to now enforce those provisions, so that there are certain provisions, things that they have to do, they're now going to have to do it. There's a long list of them, a lot of very technical. Grandma is not going to do them, okay? So she may be worried about it, but, it's okay. Like the tower crane turntable has to be lubricated. I don't think she's going to be doing that. But yeah, these are things that we want to make sure that the cranes turn, into the wind, and that we don't have an issue. We actually had an issue with with last hurricane we had, where it wasn't secured in that fashion, and the counterweight fell. And fortunately, didn't hit Metro Mover, but it fell right between the two paths of Metro Mover. So those are some of the things. There's a whole list of things they have to do just to make sure that they're secure. They didn't have to do that because we were preempted by the state. The state now allows us to apply those laws during this time, and I want to thank the governor for doing that.
Thanks very much.
Any other questions? Okay. Ahora